Hi, everybody. My name is Daria, and welcome to Splurge. I'm smiling under this mask. Um, and it's January, and the color is purple. And purple stands for magic, or represents magic, intuition, dreams, and creation. So I thought, what better person to have my guest as Janet Comenos, my friend, who I've known for
Woo!
4 or 5 years. We met and we just bonded so quickly right away. And she runs a company called Spotted Media, and she created the company. She's the co-founder and the creator of it. Which I feel like when she tells me about how she created this company, it's kind of like magic. Like she thought of something, she dreamt something, and then she created it, something that nobody's ever done. It's an insurance-based business for the film and television industry. She's been featured on CNN and NBC and Variety, Hollywood Reporter. Many people have outlined this company because it's totally different than anything that anyone's done. So I thought, have her. Also, her birthday in January, pretty soon. Um,
Yay!
the Capricorn. So,
Turning 35.
oh
I'm going to
wow.
be 35. I know, it's a big one.
Yeah, beginning of almost the midlife.
Oh, God. Don't tell me that. Okay, moving on.
It's the beginning. You still have some time. Um, so, anyway, so I thought today let's talk about daydreaming, because I know for me, if I wasn't daydreaming about being a stylist like Tori Spelling on 90210, I would probably never have become one. And I also feel so often in life, people are always telling you to not daydream. And I don't understand why, because I feel like creation comes from sitting around and having those moments where you're quiet and you've thought of something and created it. So that's where
Hmm.
life changes. So, and it's can be so positive, and it's just such a great childlike, optimistic way of looking at the world that we've kind of lost and we could really use during this time, right? So,
Hmm. Hmm.
but I know you've probably told a million people how you started your company, what it is, but let's just focus on more, how do you stay happy and contented and de-stressed during those moments, like running a company like yours, which is ever changing constantly. Like, how do you use daydreaming to check out and create and get away from?
Hmm. Yeah. So for me, I mean, generally speaking, most days there are at least a handful of things that don't go as planned. And sometimes they're really challenging issues that I'm dealing with. And so I find that it's very helpful to kind of transplant myself to another place that's a happier place. And one really easy way to do that is via daydreaming. So I have a list of topics that I love to daydream about, whether it's traveling to Cuba or Christmas, or chocolate. And these things, even if I spend 5 or 10 minutes kind of actively daydreaming about them, it puts me in a totally different place, and then I can take that step away, daydream, and then come back with a new kind of more positive, healthier perspective.
I love that. So you're almost like, yeah, you're like creating your own vacation in your mind. That's like,
Yeah. So, and it often is, I'd say like 80% of the time it is a vacation destination, which is so interesting. And so what I've found is that there are actually some pretty easy ways to bridge daydreaming with the physical world. Because let's say you daydream a lot about a certain destination, whether it's Cuba or whether it's Croatia or, wherever, Australia. And what you can do is you can basically almost like recreate that destination in your own home. You can start with a daydream. It starts with a daydream, and then you can create a Pinterest board or a folder on Instagram. And then you can evoke your various senses. If you just take a couple hours away, even on a Saturday or Sunday, you can have scents that remind you of that place. So if you're going to Croatia, I know they use a lot of lavender there, for example, which is the color of the month. And so you could make maybe a stovetop lavender potpourri to infuse your home with that scent. You can listen to Croatian music, dress as if you were in Croatia, make food or order food that's Croatian. And it really is this immersive at-home experience that allows you to get away, that started with a daydream.
I love it. I love the submersion of getting away and using these things outside of you to kind of create that world so that you can kind of just do it at any time and have much more control of like experiencing these different feelings and cultural.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you evoke all your senses, I think it really makes you feel like you're getting away.
I love it. That's so good. Okay, so wait, quickly, are you wearing any purple? Because I know for me, like purple.
I'm wearing a purple sports bra. I'm also there's some purple in these pants.
Fun. Okay.
Don't mind my medical boot.
I mean, I'm kind of wearing because I have these like settings on. These are Noten.
Oh, I love those.
Marjol. Like this.
Oh, I love that.
This kind of meshy dress thing that's too short in the back to be a dress unless I really want to be getting attention. So but
and I like the jewelry. We were together when you bought those earrings in New York.
Rachel Comey. Yeah, I feel like when I wear purple, I definitely feel a little more feminine and sometimes I do feel more relaxed. I wonder if that's something to do with that kind of the dream-like feelings that you get where you're relaxed. You know? So
interesting.
And then
I feel.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I feel like the emotions that I feel when I'm around the color purple are definitely relaxed, but also there is this kind of like regal, like royalty vibe that I get from the color purple. Right. Almost as if I were like British royalty or something.
Well, yes. Well, you. Okay. So that was one more question I wanted to ask, just real quickly. Like, how have you created color in your world as of late?
So it was interesting. I took some speed reading and retention classes this year, and I do struggle sometimes to retain the material when I'm reading a book, whether it's audio or a physical book. And so I've been trying different techniques to help me retain the material. And one that I've found that's particularly effective recently is doodling with colored pencils or markers what's happening in the book. So, if there's a scene inside of a church, I draw a prayer emoji. If there was a scene in a book I was reading yesterday where this guy was playing the piano, and so I drew a piano hall, and then a takeaway next to the doodle or the image. And so
great.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That would be so cool.
And then it's actually, yeah, it's great. It helps me retain the material, and it also is fun to look back on. So last night I spent a couple hours reading, and then I looked back on the drawings that I'd created, and it was fun to look at them, and it helped to reiterate the material in my mind. So that's been a really good thing for me recently.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's like one of the things that as a positivity coach that we always try to tell people is primers are so useful. And a primer is something to put in your world that reminds you of that you want to focus on something. So that to me says like you're creating something while you're listening to these audibles that can be primers later on. So that's awesome. Yeah.
Totally.
Cool. I love it. This is all such good stuff for everybody to hear. So my couple takeaways today are When I'm trying to come up with daydreams or things that I would like to happen, I always journal and write it down and like kind of an intentions booklet, which I find much more useful
Smart.
than the resolutions of New Year's. Like, I think resolutions are so stupid. Like, why are we always getting rid of these things? Why aren't we adding things to our lives? You know, it's a much more fun. So, and it's more likely to manifest because you actually are like creating something, you're not taking away something. So and then this is my favorite kind of dream like book that what I read and changed my life. Jerry and Esther Hicks, I don't know if you can see, it's called Ask and It Is Given. It's very much this idea that if we reframe the language in our mind, we can create things kind of out of thin air, you know? So just like what we were talking about with our vacations and your even your company and stuff like that, and even my job. So it's fun. And it works. So and then I'm just gonna leave us with a little bit of music because I'm a music person. Normally we would do a little dance, but one of us has a busted foot, so we're gonna play a little bit of music, and then we'll just be on our way, and we'll see you guys. I mean, everybody have a safe month, and hopefully some of this is useful to you. And thanks for coming and listening. Okay.
Yay. Fun.
Bye, Janet.
Take a look around. At least you got friends. I call my own